Our kingdom is in grave danger. Rumor has it that malevolent acolytes are conspiring to resurrect the vile and powerful Unhallowed once again. This time we must rely on the swords of the Coin Mercenary Guild to gather champions from outside the realm to defend our kingdom from darkness. Only you have the abilities and skills to fight for the light. So, mighty sellswords, will you save us?
Hi everybody, my name is Harry Jacobs and I am the North of 60 Gamer, and I am North of 60 both in age and in where I live. I live in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories, and right now it's a balmy minus 26 degrees Celsius, which is far warmer than it was last week at minus 35 degrees Celsius. And we're going to warm ourselves up by taking a look at Rock Manor's game, the new release of Set-A-Watch, Swords of the Coin. This is the second of the series, and there are some differences, and we're going to be going over those differences and playing through the game. As always, I'm going to unbox this, we're going to look at the components, we're going to set the game up, we're going to play the game, and we're going to do some final thoughts. So join me down at the table as we take a look at Set-A-Watch, Swords of the Coin. So, what you can see here is a runner that came with this particular game. It is a cloth runner, and this is where we are actually going to line up our monsters who are trying to attack us as we are setting up our camp and trying to defend our camp each turn. Each turn we'll have 3 of our 4 characters fighting these monsters, while one keeps the fire lit and gets himself prepared for his turn defending the camp. With this current expansion, we have Set-A-Watch, Outriders expansion. These are just a new set of monsters that you can mix and match with the original game or play with Set-A-Watch. Both games are compatible, and so therefore you could mix the monsters and the game. Apparently that's what I am told. Here is the box. We are ready to go to take it apart and take a look at what is in the box. So here we have it, and we're going to take that shrimp wrap right off this sucker right now and discover what is in there for us. I have some risotto on the stovetop, actually. It is turned off. I've cooked it for dinner, and we got to figure out, the first challenge is to figure out how this box opens. Does it push out this time? No, I'm sure it just opens. Oh my. Oh my. Oh wait a minute. Yeah. I had the same issue with the last one. It was like a finger puzzle, you know. Have you ever seen those old Chinese fingers where the more you pull, the more you get tight, and the only way to do it is really relax it and then pull a finger out? Well, that was kind of the same way. If I poked it, it kept compressing onto the game, but we finally got it. This game is by Todd Walsh, published by Rock Manor Games. It is for 1 to 4 players. It is a cooperative game, and as always, we're going to just lift up the game. As you can see, there is the camp. During each turn, we'll take some actions inside the camp as well as outside the camp perimeter where we're fighting monsters. Here's the rules on top. Here's bags. Okay, there are lots of dice. There are the 4 markers for each of the players. Each player will take a marker and will take a turn flipping the marker. There is your campfire marker. The more the campfire, the better, which is the better way of being able to defend your campfire. We have a ton of dice. We got some yellow, some nice dice in here. I love that yellow color. We got some red. We've got 4-sided dice. And of course we have cards. We have some markers. It looks like we have a turn marker or something right here. What else do we have in there? We have some player sheets. And we have our various character. We have the witch, the heretic, the barbarian. Wow, lots more characters than the last one, I think. The monk, the artificer, and the merchant. Oh, we're going to have a merchant that sells something, I recall. I'm not sure what this is all about. These two look like they go together, so we're going to have to take a look at what's going on in the rules. There should be a little black thing here to put it together, which I don't see. That's interesting. Okay. I don't know how we're going to put that together without a little thing for the center. And I don't see them in with the dice. Oh, we'll figure out something. And these are the cards. They are standard magic size cards, and these look like a little bigger. We'll figure out what those sleeve sizes are and bring them to you on the table as we sleeve them. And we're going to sleeve these game cards. We're going to knock out these tokens, and we're going to figure out how this all goes into the box, and then we'll unbox it again, or as I like to say, the unboxing, and then show you how this all goes together. So here it is. This is a Setter Watch. This is Swords of the Coin, and here's our maps. This is where our unused locations and hordes are going to go, and we are ready to take a look once we set up the game. So we will see you in a moment as I sleeve and show you how this, as we sleeve, and I show you which sleeve sizes they are, and then we'll show you how it all fits into the magic box. So give us a sec. Hi everybody, we are back, and we are down at the table, and we have organized Setter Watch, Swords of the Coin. So we are ready to sort of unbox the unboxing, just to show you what I did. Now I have to say that I have some issues here, and we're going to discuss them as we go along. First off though, for sleeves, I just want to show you, this is the Mayday sleeves that I've used, and these are the regular standard 2.5 by 3.5 or 83.5 by 88 if you're into millimeters. These are the standard magic card, or just a standard card you can buy anywhere. Lots of them are made. In this case, luckily for me, I did have a couple of these. These are the blue Maydays 45 by 68. Fortunately for me, I had a couple packs sitting around, not a size I generally keep, and I'm going to have to change that. And so let's bring this box over. So the first thing we're going to show you is I can't close the box. Now, considering that I got to put it in here, there's not enough room in the box, especially when you're sleeve. I suppose if I took out, I'd have to take out this, and maybe I can close it. No, see. So there we go. Maybe I could just squeeze it in. Maybe if I took out, this is the Outrider expansion. I'll show you that first. We're not going to play with that, not this round. Now these games are totally combinable, and if you look at the rules in the back of the rules, you can actually see some suggestions for decks if you want to walk in the park on Halloween and Burnout. And if you bring it right up. Sorry about the shine, folks. There we are. If we bring it right up, these are actually combined decks. So if you look at these closely, you'll see that they use all three sets. And these are all combinable. We have lots of nice dice, but let's do the test. So basically at this point, if we took the Outrider out, would I be able to fit this in? No, not without some major ripping. So I think hopefully if they go for another expansion, there'll be a bigger box. Perhaps a mat would be nice, because one of the things you can see is that it doesn't really lay flat 100%. But I like the idea here. And in fact, if I took a picture, there are companies that could get this done from, perhaps. That would be interesting. If somebody has some artwork, please let me know, because I would love to grab it and send it off to one of the mat places and have a mat made, just so I could have it. I think that would be a great idea at this point for this game, is having a mat. However, with that being said, the artwork is great. So this, as I said, is the Outrider deck. Lots of monsters. Then we have some unhollowed somewhere in here. There they are up the top. Just a continuation. Now this deck is supposed to be a little bit more challenging. And as I said, you can mix and match decks. And I assume you can mix and match characters. The big thing that this game is bringing to the franchise is the merchant. So the merchant is where you can actually spend coins. And you can see the coins along the board here, and each time you have somebody in the camp, if you use these particular skills, you will then be able to grab a coin. The more coins you get, you can go into the merchant and buy various equipment. And let me just show you some of the equipment that's available to you. The first challenge at 6 o'clock in the morning is to open a bag. So here's these top cards here are your player cards, and we'll talk more about that when we get into the game. Each of the classes have their own cards that they can use, and you will actually pick or draw 3 randoms, and one will be exhausted, and we'll talk more about that. Here's your item cards. Here we have a dragon tooth spear. Again, early in the morning, my mouth is not working yet. We have some helmets. We've got scrolls in here, a backpack that allows you to unexhaust cards. We can chop wood. We can drink potions and throw acid and all kinds of things. And I think there's some scrolls, and there's a ring, and there's a pendant. So there's lots and lots of things that you can buy at the merchant. Some of the monsters will give you coins. Some of the monsters will take away coins. That's just kind of, the way it works. Let's just put these back really quickly. My wife will tell you that I have trouble with bags, and I often rip them, and then she gets mad at me. That's a confession. Here are our unhallowed monsters. So this generally you're going to have one or more of in the deck. It goes at the bottom. It goes with the summon cards, and you can see the summon cards under here. Depending on how hard you want the game, you can have one or more summons cards in the deck that you build, and then the monster will come. And you will also might even see them get more than one. Here are your monsters. There's a familiar in here. I'm not sure which character gets the familiar yet. I'm assuming it's a raven or a crow. Crow. And then we have our location cards. There's plenty of locations. Then we have our respites, and of course our final fight cards. So, and a few of those. And again, you can combine and mix and match as you need to play. And lastly, of course, we have our monsters. So we have we have zombie hordes. We've got clockwork soldiers. We have seal breaker acolytes. Now these get pulled out separately, and you only get a couple of them, I believe. Golems and wandering giants, and I think some of these monsters are actually tougher than the original game, and that might be because of the coins. But again, you can mix and match and make decks easier. I think there's a great opportunity to create theme decks, so goblins or monsters or something. And of course in here you have your unused locations and the horde. You're going to build up that horde for that final card. Hopefully not, because the final location, you add your horde cards to it, could be the death of you. This is the merchant card, and what's going to happen is you're going to put your coins on this side. Underneath, as you play, you're going to store your coins to accumulate them, and then after your camp phase you'll have a merchant phase, and after the merchant phase you'll have your watch phase. And of course then here's your quick references guides on the back of the various characters that you can play. Now I'm not sure which one actually gets the familiar. Maybe it's a thing you buy. We'll have to come across that, I suppose. I don't know which ones I want to buy. I want to try the Artificer. This looks really interesting because they have the mechanic of having some mana to blow things up. But that's what's in the box. And so the next thing we're going to do is cover the setup. And there is a bit of a setup here. We are only going to play the base game of Sword of the Coin, and we are not going to mix in the expansion. And we have a geek box here. I may have to rethink this geek box. And again, the little centerpiece here is missing. Now, I did send a note to Michael Nadd, and I'm sure they'll put one in the mail. I wish I knew where I could get one. I wish I had an extra one. It's just kind of a pain. But you know what? I've got crystals, and what I'll do is probably just use crystals. I think crystals kind of thematically make it a little nicer. and you know, I'll give them 11 crystals and take crystals off and put them on. So thematically, that might have been a good deluxe. And here you can see the coins. Now, I think I would have liked to have seen, you know, 3s and 1s. They're combined on the same coin. I think it would have been a little nicer if they were separate, only because the perchance of having it flip over by accident and not realizing it and getting more or less coins than you actually have. But I've got a ton of coins sitting off to the side here from other games, right there. So I've got coins galore that I can use if I want. So it's not a big issue. Other than that, we are ready to go down to set up the game, and we're going to cover up the setup. I think what we're going to do then at that point is we're going to end this video after the setup, and then we're going to go into a play video. So we're going to do 2 separate videos. So let's get down to the table and get this set up. So as you can see in front of me, I have started to set the game up slowly but surely, and I just wanted to show you where I am in the setup. So I've sort of jumped a little bit in the setup. You can see that I have laid out the camp, putting the coins in each of the spots where there are coins, and you can see that here. And as we use these abilities in camp, we will take those coins to be able to use in the merchant. We have these. I'm just going to leave them up here rather than over by the merchant card. And what I'll do as we use them, I'll put them down here to indicate that we're actually going to have them in our pockets or our backpacks or our coin purse, whatever you float your boat here. I have picked out the 4 characters I'm going to play. We have a barbarian, the hunter, the monk, and the artificer. Now, the difference with the artificer is that I'm actually going to use 11 crystals to represent the staff's power. So he's carrying a staff, even though you can't see it, because we don't have the staff, the actual staff bit actually works because we're missing the centerpiece, which I have already, as I said earlier, emailed Michael Nat about. And so hopefully we'll get that soon. We won't be using the Outrider deck. And this is where I am right now in the setup. So the things we need to do in the setup are get our monsters, get our locations, pick out our abilities, fill the merchant slots with equipment that we can buy, decide who is going to be left behind in the camp, and then we'll be ready to go. So hang in there as we finish this all off. I am sort of finding there is the game set up here in the book. And here we go. And we're kind of moved it along a little bit. And let us continue on our journey setting up Set a Watch, Swords of the Coin. So we are one step closer to the setup. I have sorted out the equipment, and each of our characters have their abilities. And what we're going to do is we are going to shuffle the abilities, take 3 at random. The 3rd slot we are going to use on the exhausted side. And then when they're in camp, they'll be able to actually, while they're in camp, one of the actions they can take is to unexhaust one of their actions. So we're going to continue on step by step, just sort of showing you how things go. And we're going to do that, but we're going to do our locations and set up our monster decks as well. So moving on. So continuing through our setup, the first thing we're going to do is our locations. And we're going to pick out 8 of these locations. So we're going to mix them up. And on the location cards, we have the number of fire that it's going to go down, the number of creatures that are going to come out during the watch phase, and of course any special thing that's going to happen to us, help us or hinder us. On the back are the runes, and you can put dice on these runes to help trigger bolster, fight monsters, those types of things, and you have to put dice there as well. So we'll talk about that if we use them. So we're going to shuffle these up. And what's going to happen at this point is we're going to take 2 of the, well, there's only 2. These are the final location cards. We're going to take a final location card and we're going to put that there. And then we're going to put this one here. We're not going to look at it. These are the respite cards. We don't start with those. We also put them in the pile here. We're going to shuffle them up in a moment. Then we're going to take 8 randomly. So let's shuffle. I think we shuffled, but we'll shuffle a little bit more. There we are. We're going to take 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are our locations. Then we're going to take our respite cards and our other final location. I'm going to put these together. And we're going to shuffle these up really well. And then we're going to put these in unused locations. There is a scout action that allows you to check. When you can check your map, you can actually go in or you can actually scout ahead, actually, I believe. And you'll be able to look at the top of this card, the top of that card, and you can switch them. So that's an advantage if you're looking for something specific or you get something like really, really tough. So we're going to do that. There we go. And that is the location cards. Next up, we're going to start our monster cards. These are all the unhallowed cards, plus the summoning cards. We'll take those summonings out. And we are going to shuffle these up for now. And then we're going to take our hard cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play randomly. So I don't know whether this is going to be a long game or a short game. I could get myself beat up pretty quickly. Now, as I said, in the rules, I think in both books, they do give you suggested setups if you want. Or you could just do this. Now, I have to take the Acolyte cards out, actually. I forgot to do that. So we'll quickly look for the Acolyte cards. I think there's 2 of them in here. So we are going to take our unhallowed cards, and we are randomly going to take one and start it in the Horde. And then we are going to put that aside because that will come back and haunt us perhaps later. Now we're going to have to decide what kind of harder or easier game we want to have. What we're going to do is we can either play the normal easy side or the normal. Let's go with normal, which is 2 summons cards. The rest of them go back into the box, or in our case, the bag. Then what we do is we shuffle our monster deck. There we go. We're going to shuffle our monster deck. We're going to take 28 random cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 28. And it proves that I can actually count. Now, you may not know, I actually do have a master's degree in information management technology, so I guess I could count. We're going to take our 2 summonings cards, so we're going to just give these guys another quick shuffle. Now, they suggest making them even, but, being the nice guys that we are, we're going to actually go 1, 1, 2. We're going to take our 2 summoning cards, and what we're going to do is, yes, you guessed it, we are going to shuffle them again. And we won't know where that summons card is, and then when we get that summons cards, what's going to happen is we're going to pull the top of the unhallowed deck. And I got a couple cards that are upside right. Upside right. We give them a good shuffle. There's the bottom of our deck. And we're just going to put them maybe right over here. It's a little bit of a tight fit for us today, as it always is with us. So we're going to give these guys a shuffle, so we don't know where the summons card is. And when we summons, we're going to summon an unhallowed card. And those monsters tend to be a little bit nastier. Now the Horde here is what happens at the end. Final location. And then we add the Horde to the end. Then we take 2 of our Acolytes. And then what we do is shuffle our Acolytes up. Take the top 2 Acolytes. Put them on top of the deck. These are somewhat easier. Think of them as the warm-up. Okay. Put that over here. Then what I'm going to do is come over to here. We're going to set up our merchant. And we're going to put the first 3 cards down. And so we're going to pick a garlic necklace. Defeat a vampire in line, and it's a discard. The next one is Cat's Eye Opal. Activate. Until the end of the round, reveal 1 more creature from the campfire. Reveal level currently allows. Until the end of the round, reveal 1 more creature than the campfire reveal level currently allows. Wow. So, I guess if you want to fight an extra monster. And then the Acid Vial. This is a discard. Choose a revealed creature in the first or second row. Deal 8 damage to this creature. That's probably nice if you get a big one. Okay, we're just going to put the refills up out of the way so you can't see them. They are up there along with the Horde deck. What we're going to do at this point then is spill the dice. So the D12s here are going to go to our Barbarian. They are the high damage, and we're going to be using a lot of their dice abilities, I suspect. Our Artificer starts with his 11 cubes. Our Monk starts with 3 D6s, but they have the ability to meditate and upgrade a single dice to the next level. So a D6 goes to a D8 and a D8 goes to a D10. They only go to the campsite once, so they're really the most they're ever going to get is 2 D8s or a D. Oh, dice. Okay, update a single dice twice or 2 of your dice once. Okay, so the chances are you can get a couple D10s out of this. And then your Barbarian, looks like they get a 8-sided dice. The Hunter gets an 8-sided dice. And we'll talk more about that eventually. So we get lots and lots of dice here. I haven't checked out some of the other. So these are all new to me, these characters. So we have more dice than we need. That's okay. Then we're going to come across here, and over the top here is our cards like this. So we're just going to give them I'm going to close my eyes. You can see me, my eyes closed. I'm going to take the first 3. So this is the first one, which is Internal Strike. Each of your direct attacks deals an amount of extra damage equal to the attack of the creature's damage. So basically how you activate this, there's 2 ways to activate this. One, you can use a dice, or 2, you can just turn it over. Now, when you do turn it over, it exhausts. So that is a problem. And of course, the third one is upside down. You still can activate it, but this is a strike. Now, we can swap these abilities. So again, we're going to just put them off to the side for the Monk, because we can't swipe those abilities if in the equip actions. This is our Barbarian. So we're going to take that, and the first ability they're going to get is Bloodied. Exhaust this ability to increase one of your dice to the maximum value for each of the exhausted abilities, included this one. So this one you can only exhaust. This one is Stone's Throw. It's passive. For each melee adventure on watch, including the Barbarian, you may resolve a single die direct attack with a +1 range. So that's pretty nice if you're the Hunter, because the Hunter is a ranged, and you can tell there's a ranged. Our Artificer is a range, and we have 2 melee. And Leap, but Leap is exhausted. Now, to me, I think we're going to start with the Monk in the camp. That makes sense to me. And if you look at the camp tokens, you can see one side it says 1, and the other side says 2. Everybody has to camp at least once. So here is our Hunter. So he's going to have Expertise. It's a passive. When resolving a direct attack, double the value of the dice against any creature type in your trophy collection. So as he kills monster, he is going to collect trophies and then be able to use them. Trophy Swap. Choose one of your trophies and swap a creature in the line, gaining its reveal power, then gain a coin. And Exploit. Defeat a revealed creature in the line whose type matches one of your trophy types. Unfortunately, that one is exhausted. And lastly, the Artificer. This one is the one that interests me. The use of their staff. So we have, just give that a quick shuffle. The first card is War Staff. Deal X damage to a revealed creature where X is equal to the die value placed here plus the number of charges you have. Swap a revealed creature in line with the top card of the creature deck, then gain 4 charges. That's Phase Shift. And then Quick Craft, which is a passive. Once per round, you may spend charges equal to the cost of the item in the market to gain it. At the end of the round, shuffle it back into the item deck. I don't know if I like that one particularly, but we can change it out if we want. That is the setup. We are ready to go. I think I would like to start with the Monk in the camp. So we're going to start with the Monk. and then we're going to go into the first camp phase. So let's move to the camp phase.